Welcome to America's best kept secret. The plot thickens. Now, the Senate and the House and the FBI and the DOJ and the NSA are all trying to figure out what I'm about to show you right now. It's taken a long time for the whistleblowers to get through the layers of conspiring FBI and NSA agents that are caught trying to overthrow our country. Who overthrew our country? I'm going to show you the evidence from this week that the spy agencies, which are stocked with secret society Freemasons, are still obstructing all of these investigations. Look, I know I was a little off the chain last week, and I promised to show you how they are doing it, but forget me not. I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. You might be surprised at some of the things I've done for our country. Someone classified our president as a foreign intelligence agent and sent our country on a toilet bowl spiral with Joe Biden, a president run by the deep state. That's right, the president that said, I don't know, I got to see what they want me to do. Well, I'm exposing they and them and all of their conspiring diseased temple of weaponization Freemasons. Yes, this really happened. Our country was overthrown by the spy agencies. We all saw it with our own eyes. Why hasn't anyone been held accountable? I'm going to show you right now. It's because of how they operate. I'm going to show you the solution to the problem. This has been going on for 10 years. I'm going to show you that when this happened, I was 6 years deep into a sting operation against the person that did it. I caught the ringleader, but they are able to keep me from being heard. It's critical that you understand how they are doing this. First, let's nail down the facts, times, dates, etc. On October 21st, 2016, Sally Quillian Yates signed a highly secretive document classifying Trump as a foreign intelligence agent. That's a license to sabotage the sitting United States president. Picture one, please. I got my team back. This is that warrant. This is a document that was declassified in 2018. Notice the dates. This warrant was issued on October 21st, 2016. That's when Sally Yates officially made a bold move to do what she told me she would do and take over our government by whatever means necessary. Again, on October 21st, 2016, this document was not made public until it was declassified in 2018. Now, on November 20th, 2016, not even a month after Sally Yates signed this document, I made a timestamp video saying that I was an eyewitness against Sally Yates, who set up a racket involving U.S. spies in the FBI and NSA to run a criminal heist. This is part of that video. Now, as you watch this video, I'm going to tell you, way back in 2016, that I stung Sally Yates using the spy agencies to run a crime racket before anyone knew what FISA was, or that she attacked our country with it through a grand conspiracy. Clip one, please. So what I've got here is, somebody that's watching me in real time, preventing me from working, and are doing everything they can to prevent me from working, and then just monkeying with the system. So the person that assigned this load to me was Jody Beach, and then it was Russell Runoffson, anyway, that dispatched me on the load. There's not one individual person, but these names I've been given before by Sally Quillian Yates.
the U.S. Attorney General, who was the federal prosecutor for North Georgia, when I stung the shit out of her. She tried to force me into this racket, and so each one of these people, and I documented very well that they forced me into this, and so each one of these people who is monitoring me, each one of these corrupt federal agents and national security agents under the Department of Justice, is undeniably, especially the ones that are monitoring me now, undeniably and without question involved in a federal racket, RICO racket, federal racketeering. And
Excuse my language there. There is no way I could have said that if that wasn't true. Nobody knew that Sally Yates had signed a warrant against Trump. That was all classified. It was not made public until 2018. Yes, if you know me, you know I have special powers, but telepathy is not one of them. Let's look at picture 2, please. That video is timestamped with a Qualcomm, a device that I don't have any control over. I took a screenshot from that video so you can see the date clearly. 11/20/2016. Not even a month after Sally Yates signed the secretive document against Trump. There's a few other ways that you can prove the legitimacy of that video other than the timestamp there. Sally Yates conspired to overthrow the United States of America, just like she told me she would do when I stung her. And that's the proof that my claim is true. What our government couldn't accomplish with hundreds of millions of dollars through all these investigations, Cletus did, with God's inspiration. It wasn't my idea. I didn't want to do this with my life. I didn't even understand what was going on, but I do now. Because the FISA warrant Sally Yates orchestrated against me, I have been able to collect the evidence against the person that was the people following me and spending your money, trying to control who I can reach, intercepting my communications, and trying desperately to manipulate me. This next video is a spy, a U.S. spy in April of 2017, following me and threatening me when I refused to cooperate. This is just a small clip of 2 much longer videos. Video 2, please.
6th, let's see, the delivery would be tonight. So it's going to be, I made several videos today. It delivers at 4/7, 1 o'clock in the morning. So it's 4/6, 5:45 Mountain Standard Time. As soon as I get back in the car, I just did the bug bomb here. Just got back from my shower.
You and every single one of the people that was involved with orchestrating this for their own personal satisfaction, means, and desires. And there's not a one of them going to sit in that seat and going to lie. Not a one of them.
This is fantastic. See, what you got here is you got somebody that just came on as soon as I got in the truck.
And then when they get through, let me tell you what would be the results here. When they got through with the court hearing, they would be putting the handcuffs on every damn single one of them, and they'd be going to prison. And if you don't believe it's true, do it. Just put it together. I dare you to. I dare you to.
Notice, he says every single person who orchestrated this will go to prison if I put it together. I didn't cooperate. This spy has seen a video of when I stung Sally Yates and doesn't realize now that he's caught. This is how corrupt our spy agencies have become since there is no accountability, because they make their own policies instead of the lawmakers writing the policies for the FBI, DOJ, and NSA. This is the failure of our lawmakers. I can prove that I only stung Sally Yates. I didn't join their grand conspiracy. I only did what was necessary to catch these treasonous mobsters who kidnapped my child. Everyone else is caught but me. I caught them with God's help. That's why I am the nation's most important unheard eyewitness in all of these investigations. When I stung Sally Yates, she referred to herself as the Western Star. I later learned that was the Freemasons. I later researched her long, corrupt family history and have exposed these Freemasons on my website. I go through that history on the early episodes of my podcast. Now, when you watch these videos, you might get the impression that I'm a continually relapsing spy hunter. They just can't get enough. That's not the case. They would not let me go. They will not accept that I busted them. They're still intercepting my attempts to be heard today. Again, because I'm the most important eyewitness against them. Now, I'm going to prove that the FBI is still conspiring to silence me today. I'm going to show you the investigations that they're obstructing. Then I'm going to show you that they are obstructing those investigations. This is the investigation going on now. In the U.S. Senate, Marsha Blackburn. Now, don't lose track of what's happening here. The senators have finally realized that the spy agencies weaponized FISA to gain control over our lawmakers. Federal judges did this. Federal judges that will be exposed when they look at my case and see who signed the FISA warrants in my case. It might just be Judge Boasberg. In other words, the federal judges, the FISA judges that are caught in my sting operation and the spies they conspired with will be exposed along with the chief suspect, Sally Quillian Yates, when my case is heard. Okay, back to the Senate weaponization investigation. This is a clip from ABC News. This is the current investigation today. This is what's going on today about how the criminals who conspired against Trump and incited the January 6th protest then used the January 6th protest to gain control over our lawmakers by spying on them. Clip 3, please.
Republican senators coming out swinging, calling it the worst weaponization of government in American history.
Counselor, you ought to hide your head in a bag. And this isn't over. And all the rest of you should too.
The Senate committee grilling attorneys for 3 major cell phone carriers about how they responded to subpoenas for some lawmakers' phone records, including Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn's, as a part of the federal government's investigation into the January 6th attack. Blackburn planned to vote
against certifying the election results, but that changed her mind. That trap affected our government in ways that's really hard to understand. Now, you just heard the most literate lawmaker in U.S. history. Kennedy tells the attorneys that cooperated, "You ought to hide your head in a bag, counselor. This is not over yet. We haven't even heard from Ferris Broxton yet." No, he didn't say that last part because the FBI is still obstructing the case. That's one investigation the FBI is obstructing by intercepting and silencing my reports, by keeping me from being brought forward as an eyewitness with the best evidence. All right. Can we take a moment of silence to reflect on what is the proper way to be heard? Picture 3, please. The deep state laid a trap, and well, this didn't help. A bunch of folks just stepped into the trap. Picture 4, please. Guys, look. I like to climb as much as a squirrel, but there is a time and place for everything. This just isn't the time and place. All right. This instructional video, this podcast that you're watching today, is going to show you the proper time and way to be heard. I'm talking about this podcast right here that you're watching now. I've already shown you how the FBI is obstructing the Arctic Frost investigation, Russiagate investigation, and Grand Conspiracy investigation on my podcast just last week. This week, I will continue to shine a spotlight on the FBI agents and spies who are continuing to conspire to overthrow our country. Here, watch. Relax. I want you to think about this as you watch it. Watch me tell the U.S. Attorney here in this video, I'm demonstrating in my call to him how the spies who abuse FISA have been able to continue to silence the witnesses. So watch and listen and think about what I'm saying to him in this voicemail. Clip 4, please.
To end recording.
U.S. Attorney Jason Quinones, this is Ferris Broxton Jr. I've been trying to reach you. I've received one call back from an unidentified man claiming to be from the FBI in Washington, D.C., which Kash Patel called a diseased temple of weaponization. Washington, D.C., and the FBI headquarters is where corrupt FBI agents hid bags with evidence in hidden rooms, according to Kash Patel. I've been trying to report this for many years. I'm a witness against the primary suspect in your investigation, Sally Quillian Yates, who classified Trump as a foreign intelligence agent. I stung Sally Yates because she was running a criminal organization that kidnapped my child 17 years ago. The FBI still has not responded to my multiple reports about my child being kidnapped 17 years ago. I'm not waiting for them any longer. FISA was the tool that was used to attack Trump and America. FISA can intercept phone calls. Anyone with an app from Google can place a call showing the District of Columbia FBI and use a different voice to pose as an FBI agent. I need you to acknowledge me publicly. And due to both of these reasons that I just gave you, I need you to give me some confirmation that you have evidence and are interested in the evidence that I've put online, that you know who I am and that you've seen what I've presented. I can work with you directly, and I'd like to do that because the FBI has clearly lost the confidence of the American public and even their director. My name is Ferris Broxton. I live in Minot, North Dakota. I can do whatever necessary to help with your investigation. It is absolutely laughable that I have to document all of these attempts to reach you as the most important eyewitness. I should be protected, but yet I get nothing from the FBI. Again, I'm happy to work with you directly, but I need you to contact me and convince me that you've heard me, because FISA intercepts phone calls, and the FBI clearly can't be trusted, according to its director. Thank you.
Now you see the spy agencies are obstructing multiple investigations with the same goal. They are determined to control our country and our government. We need to understand the threat and make ourselves heard without stepping into the traps that they're setting for us. That's why I'm running for U.S. House. I have testimony and evidence to expose and fix the problem. If my case is heard by getting coverage on top national news, the problem will be addressed. Now let's look at something else that is paramount to holding our representatives accountable and dealing with this while we can. This is the law that compels action from my local and state reps, senators, and chairs. If they understand what I'm presenting on this video, then they have a duty to help me be heard. They have a constitutional responsibility to make sure that all of the proper authorities are aware of who I am. Picture 5, please. This is the law of misprision. Some of these leaders peacefully attended the January 6th protest and behaved like they should. Some of the people I'm talking about, my representatives and chairs and so forth, they didn't get in trouble. They didn't do anything wrong. My point is, they know that there is a threat, a treasonous conspiracy against our country. That's why they went to the January 6th protest. This law of misprision is very clear. If you know of a continued problem, a felony, somebody obstructing an investigation, and in this case, the most important investigation in the nation, then they are bound to take action. My point is, they know there's a threat, a treasonous conspiracy. I've repeatedly presented evidence that this threat is the biggest threat we face. This is squarely in the responsibility of the people who stand over me, my representatives, local, state, federal. That's why I'm running for the federal office. This threat is continuing to silence the most important eyewitness who they represent. I have respectfully tried to reach and educate the GOP leaders in North Dakota with mixed results. Some have clearly stated that I should be heard and that they will help me by signing the required document for my campaign to advance so that I can get on the national stage at the Minot Convention. This should draw national attention that I am an unheard eyewitness to a critically important issue of our nation's security. I am the candidate who will deal with the biggest problem we face. The other candidates aren't even addressing it. But my request is that they sign, not saying that they're going to vote for me. My request is that they sign so that I can be heard on national news. I have the support of one of the 4 regional chairmen and other chairmen. Another thinks that I should be heard, but is loyal to Fedorchak and is hesitant to sign. One of them still hasn't called me back. I hope he will wake up and realize the importance of what's going on around him before our country is lost. Please, representatives and chairmen who have seen my case, time is short. Please support me with your signatures so that I can be heard. We've already seen the threat. We know what the outcome is going to be if the eyewitnesses are continued to be silenced. Sally Yates told me that Trump was the only candidate that the Freemasons couldn't control. We saw what they did to try to bring him down. While we have a $5 billion bull in the White House, let's hold these treasonous criminals accountable. They will finish what they've started when he's gone. The future of our country may very well lie in your hands. If we don't have a representative that can loudly prove that the FBI and DOJ are unfit to make their own policy, then they will never be held accountable for overthrowing our country. They will continue to control it illegally by silencing the witnesses and burning the evidence. North Dakota chairs, this is what you can do now to show that you understand the threat against our country and that you will do whatever you can to stop it. I'm asking you to sign this form so that the most important eyewitnesses in the security of our nation, the most important eyewitness, me, in the security of this nation is heard. And again, I don't have them on here, but I've got commitments for at least 3 signatures at this point, one of them being a regional chair that thinks everybody should sign it. And plenty of them that say, no, everybody should sign that, but I'm not that guy. I support somebody else and I don't want to confuse the issue. They have some other reason. This is really, really important. I'm asking you to sign this so the most important eyewitness in our nation is heard. This has to be turned in with all signatures on one page by March 8th, which is a Sunday. So really the deadline's closer than that. I will be publishing the names and responses that I get from each chair, because with authority comes responsibility and accountability. You don't have to endorse me. I'm only asking for your signature in support of our country so that I am able to get on the national stage and be heard. Please, for the security of our country.